I want to thank you and welcome you all to the webinar tonight. You're in for a big treat. I will know that we have Dr. Adam Saucedo as our visiting guest, as well as Travis Bott, one of our all-star leaders that's going to be finishing up the call a little bit later. So I want to welcome you all to the call, and we'll get started right away. I just want to recap a little bit, and I'm going to do it very fast because I really want to leave an adequate amount of time for Dr. Adam. So first of all, this is all about the road to Paris. All of these webinars are leading to this event that we have October 29th in Paris, France. And we know that if you're not able to be there in physical form, or in person, I should say, then please join us. Be there emotionally. Be there with us by link, however you can be there, because there's going to be great energy there and a lot of things that we'll be sharing with you. So join us now, but this leads to Paris. This is the road to Paris. Next slide. So the first thing, obviously, the main focus of these calls have been Prodigy 5. And it starts at the top with our Prodigy doctor, Dr. Ambati, and his companionship, his partnership with Dr. Adam Saucedo, that all of you know well. You've heard him on many of the webinars, on the calls, and we are so honored to have these two amazing individuals who are heading up this project and bringing this technology to us. So the 5 product highlights, again, just to review. Number 1, the technology and the know-how. I've said many times over that most of us want to eat better. We want to take nutrients to be able to support our body and our functions of our body. The challenge is not what we take in as much, but what we're utilizing. Whether it's aging or disease, there's many things that affect our ability to absorb these nutrients. So it's not that there's not great products out there, it's just what are we getting? What are we utilizing? This technology changes all that and provides the utilization, the absorption that we need of these nutrients. Number 2, the phytoplankton. This is the first and end conversation as it relates to nutrition. We've heard Ron say that multiple times. Phytoplankton is so nutrient dense that it is called a superfood. Number 3, antioxidants. And we heard Michelle Aswar talk about this over the last couple of weeks. The value of these antioxidants, Dr. Saucedo is also going to talk about that tonight. Number 4, the vitamins. And this is what you're in a treat for tonight. This is really a treat. I've heard this 6 times today, and I keep learning every time. Number 7, energy. Who doesn't want more energy? This product is one of those products that you can feel immediately. So let's just review again the business highlights of this great product. Number 1, the simple duplication model. Getting back to the envelope model that's so easy to share, that is so duplicatable globally. Number 2, unlimited opportunity. It addresses multi-billion-dollar industries. In fact, the combined amount of those industries is approaching close to $1 trillion opportunity. Would you like a piece of that? I think I would. Number 3, unique pricing model. It's the first time in our history that we've been able to use this pricing model. And what I'm talking about mostly is the auto ship pricing model. You're going to learn a little bit about that as we go forward. Number 4, business driving product. This product itself, not only can you take it, consume it, and after today you will not want to be without it, then you can share it with others. It is a business driving product by itself. And number 5 is that it's a global express model. We have been working and perfecting this model over the last 3 years. And it is just expanding now, call it 2.0, this global express model that can ship to any doorstep, any country in the world. And that can change your business future. So again, what do we do? What are the action items? Again, just to quickly review. Purchase the $20 pack if you have not done that. It's the training pack that enables you to listen firsthand to Dr. Ambati, Dr. Saucedo live from Paris. That pack gives you the opportunity of purchasing the pre-launch pack that's 6 cases for $299.95. It's a $75 value. That order will go through and charge your credit card when the product is available to ship. So you're only paying for the $20 now that locks you in for that pre-launch price. That pre-launch pack will then entitle you to the lifetime pricing, the $99.95 fully qualified pricing, auto ship pricing. So it really just starts today with locking in that $20 pack. Then also, in addition to that, we've waived all membership fees, and so it's so easy to go out and share this with other individuals. I hope that each one of you on the call tonight invites at least 1 or 2 people to the call next week. Let's double, let's triple the attendance, because this message is so easy and simple to duplicate. You're going to hear how to do this a little bit later from Travis. But with that, I want to now turn the time, and the remaining of time that we have, as much as that we can, over to our esteemed Dr. Saucedo. And he came and joined the company 8 years ago, and I was privileged to be here at that time, to be instrumental in that process, to enable him to want to come and join Forever Green. We are so fortunate to have someone like Dr. Saucedo here. We don't usually go over the bio on the call and let you go on our website and check it out, but very talented, long history of lab work and research. He brings an expertise to this product and a passion for this product that you'll be able to hear in his presentation. So please, with me, welcome to the call, Dr. Adam Saucedo.
Thank you.
You can't see yourself, but it's the camera's off.
Thank you. Thank you. Can't see myself. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much, Rick, for the kind introduction. Rick has been a friend now for going on 9 years. He is the reason that I'm here at Forever Green. I remember the first, one of the first times that I walked into the building, he took me and my father and my brother to lunch, and that was a long time ago, and things have changed. What?
2 years, I remember that.
Yeah. And here we are 9 years later, both of us a lot better looking, both of us a lot smarter. I'm just teasing, of course. But it's a wonderful opportunity I have to be here and be part of Forever Green. I've worked with Forever Green as a consultant, supported the products. I've become expert at the products. I've studied many of the products. I would say with all humility that I probably have the greatest and most in-depth knowledge of the product line of Forever Green than anyone. It has been something that I've pursued for years. And now for the first time, I'm able to actually bring a tool to Forever Green and present an opportunity for all of you to take this tool and to make a difference in your home, in your neighborhood, among your colleagues, and around the world. This technology has taken more than 2 years to develop. We've spent a lot of time in the laboratory at the university experimenting with this technology, laying down data to support our hypotheses, and we're finding and have found excellent data that substantiates what we're saying, and that is that this product allows for the delivery of nutrients to the body that would never otherwise get there. We can eat all day long. We can eat the best foods, every variety of food. But when we add the technology that has been developed for Prodigy 5, that food is utilized by the body much more efficiently. It is taken up by the body much more efficiently, and therefore gives the nutrient tools that the body requires to either maintain health if you're healthy, or to rebuild health if you're suffering from some ailment. It's true opportunity. With that, I will end all discussions of products. What I want to do for the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, is discuss vitamins. I want you to learn something about vitamins that you can take from this meeting and go out and share and educate people with. We won't go into great detail, but we'll learn a little bit of science, and we'll learn some information, again, that we can take out and educate people with and help to communicate better in terms of what vitamins are, what they do to our bodies and for our bodies. But everything that I'm going to share is based upon peer-reviewed science. Anything that I say and everything that I say has no direct analogy, I must say this, to any of the products in Forever Green. I say these things in order to respect regulatory requirements and regulatory standards set by the government of this country and the government of many countries. So again, this is an informational, educational series, and that's all it is. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. What's a vitamin? I think that's a good place to start. I've asked the question of many people, especially lately, including my own kids. One of them was sure it was a new Nerf product, but that wasn't true, obviously. Many people don't really know what vitamins are. And the sad thing is that a lot of doctors don't know what they are either. They don't have the information that they should about what impact vitamins can have on our bodies and what impact a lack of vitamins can have on our health. Simply put, a vitamin is an organic compound that is required by the body to maintain its health, to maintain the normal functions of our body, yet we are incapable of manufacturing it ourselves. We must seek external sources for these vitamins. That is what a vitamin is. And we have a global crisis around this issue of vitamins. There are two things going on. In impoverished nations where poverty is the norm and access to basic foodstuffs is a problem, we have issues with vitamin deficiency. And in the case of vitamin deficiency, we have really terrible disease processes that arise from this that change the life permanently of the individual who's suffering from this deficiency, and as a consequence has an impact on the family and on the friends and on the circle of people that are in that person's life. And it reminds me of why I do what I do. Years ago, I had a patient. She was a beautiful young girl, barely 20 years old, who came into our care because she had elected to withdraw food from herself. She elected not to eat. And it was based upon a fallacy, based upon a belief that she had that she was too heavy. When in actuality, anyone looking at her could see that she was starving, that her body was weak and frail and thin. And it was a terrible thing to observe. And when she came into our care, we gave her the best care that we could. We gave her the standard of care. We gave her, we surrounded her with the finest minds in this area of disorder. She was suffering from anorexia nervosa. It's basically a psychological disorder that is very aggressive. It is the most lethal and fatal of all psychiatric disorders, and that's saying something when you consider disease processes like depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. This psychological disease, anorexia nervosa, and its cousin, bulimia nervosa, are very aggressive and kill 2% of all those that suffer from it. 10% of all people All young ladies in our society will at one time or another suffer from one of these eating disorders. And in the case of this young lady, she came in very ill, and we began to treat her. And you could see that in very short order, in 2 weeks, with appropriate food and support, she blossomed and she began to put on healthy weight. And her cheeks filled out and her body filled out and her smile returned. And it was amazing to observe the impact that proper nutrition can have on our bodies. If we will just give our bodies the nutrition that it's required, our bodies can return to health, and they want to return to health. They're built to utilize the nutrition that we give it, and it's amazing what our bodies can do when that's the case. But in the case of this young lady, these delusions that she was fat returned, and she began to complain that she was gaining too much weight and she was too heavy. And no matter what we did, no matter what her parents said, no matter how much her friends pleaded with her, she got sicker and sicker, and she died simply because she believed that she didn't look and appear as she wanted to the world. And this is an epidemic that's occurring around the world. But it was that event, observing this young, beautiful person full of potential give up on life and to pass away, and the impact it had on her family and her friends and everyone around her, their caregivers, me. It struck us all, and it struck me particularly hard. And I wanted to do something to help. I wanted to provide a tool. I wanted to work toward being able to make a difference in the lives of people who are suffering from nutritional-based issues. And that's why I'm here. That's why I developed, in conjunction with the work of Dr. Ambati, this technology that, again, can make a big difference. And so I'll talk about vitamins from now on. I'll talk about the science behind it, and we'll leave products and behind. I want you to understand that nutrition is a global problem. And in poor nations, we have, as I said, deficiencies. In wealthy nations, we have what is called suboptimal levels of vitamins. And the truth is that both populations, those with a lack of access to food and those with an over access to nutrients, but poor nutrients, both suffer tremendously. And we'll talk about that. Next, please. Let's jump right into folate and B vitamins and talk about the impact that folate can have on the health of the body. In newborns, the lack of folic acid or folate, also known as folacin, they all mean the same thing. That's one of the problems with vitamins. Each vitamin can have 3 or 4 different names. But a lack of folic acid at a critical period in the development of the life of a fetus will result in something called neural tube defects. And those neural tube defects impact and play a role in the life of the individual suffering from this for life. They can be subtle changes in the neural tube, or they can be gross and large in terms of the impact that they have. But it all focuses and all hinges on a lack of a critical vitamin at a very specific time in the development of a baby in utero. Folic acid also has other dramatic impacts on health. It's a water-soluble vitamin that we have shown that can have a very dramatic effect on coronary heart disease. It can have a dramatic effect on ischemic brain disease. Ischemic just means the lack of adequate blood flow. And a lot of our studies around vitamins started with our understanding that folate, together with B vitamins such as B6 and B12, in conjunction with vitamins D, when we had low levels, suboptimal levels of this group of vitamins, that we had a concomitant rise in the incidence of heart disease and of vascular diseases of the brain. And it was this understanding that by lowering a group of vitamins to a suboptimal level, that we had dramatic impact on health, that led us to begin to really get into the study of vitamins and how they interact and how those interactions can have an impact on health in many different ways. Folate is known to have a very significant effect on different cancers. There's evidence that that folate must be present in normal levels, at normal levels, in order for DNA to replicate, and to replicate in the perfect fashion that our bodies are able to achieve. Without adequate levels of folate, one of the last steps in DNA formation, the methylation process, fails or can fail. And that gives rise to carcinogenic processes. And that is processes that give rise to cancers. So there are a long list of cancers that can be drawn back, that the lack of folic acid gives rise to these many different kinds of cancers. Next, please. The next vitamin I'd like to concentrate on is vitamin D. Now remember, we talked about folate, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and vitamin D, and the impact that these vitamins can have on the health of the heart and the health of the vascular system of the brain. Well, again, vitamin D, when it's not present in adequate levels, can have a direct impact on our vascular system. But it's mostly known for its impact on our bones. In many countries that don't have proper access to adequate levels of vitamin D, their children suffer from a disease called rickets. And rickets is a disease of bone where it cannot be mineralized adequately. The bone is not, it doesn't receive the minerals that it requires, the calcium, the phosphorus, the minerals that it requires in order to harden and to grow in normal fashion. And instead, the bones are soft, and gravity takes their toll on these softened bones. And as they mature, children mature into adults, they have deformities of their bones that impact their lives till the moment of their death. It's a horrible thing that the lack of one vitamin, vitamin D, can have such an impact. But there are other things that it does. In adults, it can have an impact on bones. There is an effect to the point where if adequate levels of vitamin D aren't present, that adults have actual loss of bone. And this gives rise to diseases of the bone. And in people with advanced age, there's an increase in the fracture level. And a fracture in somebody of advanced age can be a very dramatic, a very important event in their life that can lead to a spiral. A fracture at the wrong time, at the wrong age, can actually be a death sentence. So by merely ensuring that our children and we have adequate levels, adequate supplementation of vitamin D, we can avoid things like heart disease, horrible problems like rickets in children, and problems of bony disease in adults. Next, please. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is a very interesting vitamin. It's composed of 8 different compounds that are called tocopherols, and these are antioxidants that have powerful effects on free radicals. As free radicals rise in our bodies due to many different things going on, whether it's stress or pollution in the environment, or even more likely the poor quality of foods that we consume. Free radicals are a big problem, and they're a growing problem. And vitamin E is an antioxidant and has the ability to neutralize many of the free radicals. It scavenges and neutralizes them to support health. And with this, I'm going to take just a moment and share with you a couple of ways that I was able to remember as I studied medicine and studied vitamins during medical school, some key facts about vitamins. So there's two primary groups of vitamins: fat soluble and water soluble. You can break them into those 2 categories. The fat soluble vitamins are K, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E. And if you notice, that spells the word CADE. And if you remember just that, CADE, K-A-D-E, you will know that each of those vitamins are the fat soluble vitamins. And what's left? Every other vitamin, no matter what name it uses, no matter what it's called, and there are many synonyms, everything else you hear about are water-soluble vitamins. So remember CADE. And it will come up. People will ask you these questions. And now that you have an answer, when people say, is vitamin E water-soluble or fat-soluble? You'll have the answer. And you'll find that it comes up more now that you have the answer to that. The other thing that I used was a memory technique where I used the word ACE. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E are the antioxidant vitamins. They're the 3 vitamins that have the ability to scavenge free radicals and have powerful effects on many disease states. So remember the word ACE, A-C-E, and you'll remember what of the vitamins, of all of the vitamins that we have powerful antioxidant effects. So with these 2 memory techniques, hopefully you can apply them in your own educational events as you teach people about products and about health and about vitamins. But vitamin E has many important functions, and many of them affect the elderly. Vitamin E ensures that we have an appropriate immune response. Without it, especially the elderly suffer from that, and as a consequence can face many disease states. With inadequate levels of vitamin E, the elderly suffer from weakness. They suffer from something called ataxia, the inability to coordinate themselves. They suffer from the inability to clot blood adequately. You'll often see somebody who's ill and fighting for their health. They'll have bruises on their arms and their legs, and that's often due to vitamin E and vitamin K. Next, please. Next, I'd like to talk to you about vitamin C. This is probably the most discussed and written about vitamin that there is. Linus Pauling was a doctor, died in '96. He was a very brilliant man. He is the only individual in history to have won 2 Nobel Prizes himself. Many Nobel Prizes are shared. Both of the Nobel Prizes that he won as an individual, and that's a very rare and important thing to remember. But Linus Pauling had very strong opinions about vitamins, and he promulgated the idea that vitamins, if taken in high enough levels or at certain high levels, could actually be responsible for curing disease. And subsequent study of some of those assertions by Dr. Pauling have not really played out. Some have, some haven't. One of them that is commonly talked about is that vitamin C has, at very high levels, has effects on infection. And although anecdotally I've seen that, there's no strong evidence to back that up. There is good evidence, however, that if you take adequate levels of vitamin C, that there are protective mechanisms that are set up that protect you against increased risk of oral cancer, esophageal cancer, stomach cancer, and even breast cancer. Vitamin C is an important antioxidant vitamin that has many functions and some very important, as I've noted. Next, please. Let's just go to the next one.
Next one?
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk about vitamin K. Vitamin K is a very important vitamin that really isn't discussed much. I would say as much as vitamin C is discussed as the primary and the star of the vitamin, vitamin K suffers from just the opposite. We don't read a lot about vitamin K, yet it is absolutely critical to our health. One of the most important things that it does is it regulates blood clotting. Without vitamin K, we wouldn't have the ability to synthesize the different clotting factors that are required to arrest bleeding. We would bleed to death. It's responsible for the synthesis of prothrombin. It's responsible for the synthesis of other clotting factors that are key to appropriate that arrest the bleeding process, including cofactors 7, 10, and 9. And these are all important and all require vitamin K. Without adequate levels of vitamin K, many people have problems with unhealthy kidneys. They have problems with unhealthy livers. And we know that if you don't have adequate levels of vitamin K, that you have problems with malabsorption. There's another area of study that shows that suboptimal levels of vitamin K give rise to higher risk of fractures. This single vitamin is so important to the health of the elderly that I leave you a challenge to ensure that you have adequate levels of vitamin K, that your parents have it, that your grandparents have it. Vitamin K, when it exists at suboptimal levels in the body, can cause bleeding problems, can cause all sorts of other problems secondary to malabsorption, and they can lead to fractures, which, as I said earlier, can be seminal events that mark a time in your life where things begin to spiral down and out of control. Vitamin K is critical. Next. So we've talked about vitamins in general. We haven't touched on all of them. We've touched on some critical ones, and I hope that we've talked about enough that you have a good understanding of what they're about, what they do, and the dramatic impact that they can have on our lives. We talked about how in impoverished countries where we have poor access to good foods, that often we deal with vitamin deficiencies, and that vitamin deficiency gives rise to debilitating diseases like rickets, like pellagra, like beriberi, all disease processes that once they have affected an individual, it is something that they suffer with for the rest of their life. We've talked about how in Western nations, we have diseases of abundance, where we have so much food, but it's food of poor quality. It's over-processed. It's sweetened. Fat is added. There's too much animal proteins. And in the end, although in Western countries we consume large amounts of food, our bodies are starving for lack of appropriate nutrients. And so we have a litany, a list of diseases that we suffer from in the face of all this abundance. But whether we're talking about a poor country with poor access or a wealthy country with over access to poor foods, we're talking about a similar problem, and that is one of inadequate levels of vitamins. And the answer to that problem is to ensure that the individuals of these countries, both rich and poor, globally have adequate access to critical vitamins and minerals and micronutrients. And that not only do they have access to them, but that we ensure that the bodies they're going into can absorb them. And that is a key element in this process. And so with that information and the tools that you'll be given, I challenge you to go out and to face these global issues of inadequate vitamins, and to attack them, and to share this amazing product both locally and on a global basis. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming to this webinar. It's been a long but excellent day sharing this information with you, and it's wonderful to be able to do this this last webinar with you. And with that, I'll turn it back to my boss, Rick Redford. Thank you.
Dr. Adam, thank you so much. And I know that, a couple of thank yous are coming through. How much we appreciate having him bring this technology to us, how blessed we are for that, and how grateful we are for him sharing his time. He's been here since 7 o'clock this morning, Mountain Standard Time, and not everyone will do that. So Dr. Adam, thank you again for your friendship and for your being a part of this.
You're welcome.
And for sharing this technology with us. So with that, I'm honored to introduce our next, our next guest. And I got to know Travis early on in this process, and just find him to be very intelligent, knows a lot of things about social media and technology that I would love to know. I think he's probably forgotten more than I'll ever know. He builds internationally. And you'll see why. His passion will show through as he shares with you some things tonight. So please welcome from the United States, from all points in the United States, our international all-star, Mr. Travis Bott. Travis?
Hey, Rick, can you hear me okay?
I can, just perfectly.
Wonderful. Well, guys, what a pleasure to be on the call with you tonight. What incredible information that was shared by Dr. Saucedo, and how exciting is it that we have this new product coming out just literally weeks away now at the Paris Convention. This product will be launched, and I know I'm excited. I know the people that I'm working with on our team, and I was actually able to be at the fly-in there at the corporate office. It was kind of like a leader retreat fly-in, and I saw the energy building there in the room, and the excitement that the leaders that were there had for what's about to happen in the company. And guys, I just wanted to take a minute tonight and talk about something that I believe is a core principle to success in network marketing. And Rick, I don't know if you have that slide available, if you could throw that up. Maybe. Oh, there we go. So this is something that I've always found to be just a true principle in network marketing, which right now you have a unique opportunity. It doesn't matter whether this is your first time on a call with Forever Green and FG Express. It doesn't matter if you've been in the company for weeks, years, months, days. It really doesn't matter. Today you find yourself in this unique period of time. Because of the launch of this new product, you have an opportunity to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, reinvent your motivation, and reinvent the results and where you can be 12 months from now based on what you do right now in this unique moment. Because anytime a new product like this, not just any product, not when just it's not like, oh, we had this product and now we're launching something that's complementary. Guys, this is an innovative technology. This is a disruptive technology. This is a unique business model. Not just is the product unique in the technology that's been developed by Dr. Saucedo and his partners. Not only is the product unique, but the business model is unique and something special. People ask me all the time, how did you get to All-Star when you joined the company? I didn't do anything special. I didn't do anything unique. I didn't have to. Because when I joined the company, Mr. Brad Hager and Mr. Kevin O'Connor were already All-Stars in the company. So all I had to do was say, okay, there's guys that are where I want to go. I'm going to look at what they're doing, and I'm going to go do the same thing, and I'm going to do it a lot of times, and I'm going to do it over and over again, and at some point I'll have that same success. And so I looked at what they were doing, and what Brad and Kevin were doing at that time in the company is they had envelopes full of power strips that they were carrying all over the world, and they were talking about a business model where you could go do business all over the world in I don't even know how many countries there are in the world. I think 195 plus provinces, plus territories, plus islands probably in the middle of nowhere that I've never even heard of that envelopes were being delivered to. But that's what they were doing. They were talking about this innovative business model where you could go do business all over the world. Why is that important? Because in network marketing, if you've been in this industry before, sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you're in a company and you go across the street and you talk to somebody and they join the company, and then they talk to somebody and they join the company, and then they talk to somebody and they join the company, and then they talk to somebody, and that person maybe was a veteran in the industry, has experience and has a massive team in Ecuador. And man, if your company could only deliver products to Ecuador, you would have a huge opportunity, because this person that came to you through 5 levels of relationships all of a sudden says, man, I've got a team ready to go in Ecuador. Well, in typical business models, that becomes a real challenge for the company. So what was innovative when I joined Forever Green and FG Express was this envelope model, was the fact that for $5, products were being shipped all over the world. And before I knew it, I had a business in 20, 30 countries. I remember trips where I was going to Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, back home, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. I mean, we were building the business everywhere. And I didn't invent that. I didn't do anything different. I just looked at what Brad Hager and Kevin O'Connor were doing, And I said, okay, I'm going to go do that same thing. I'm going to fill my backpack full of envelopes. I'm going to go talk to people, and I'm going to talk about, at that time, an innovative product and this innovative business model. What I'm excited about is, to be quite frank, I love the power strips, but they're not a daily consumable product. What I'm excited about is now we're about to launch an innovative technology that's a daily consumable product, something that people can use every day. They're going to feel it. It tastes incredible. After that last fly-in, we all got to sneak upstairs and have a little sip out of the shot glass and do the Prodigy 5 toast. And it was an incredible product. And so what I'm excited about is now we're going back to the roots. We're going back to when I had my most successful time in my career with FG Express and Forever Green was when we were taking envelopes all over the world, because it's an innovative conversation from a business model perspective. And now we've got an innovative product to go with it, where you can take this business. I mean, guys, it's just cool. Think about a case of envelopes. It's just great marketing. It's just a cool concept. It's a great product. It's an innovative technology. It's something different and unique in a space that's just crowded with Me Too products and the next person trying to launch the next nutrition product. We've got an innovative conversation. So why I say you find yourself in a unique place? Because today you can make the decision to reinvent yourself. You can make the decision to reinvent the conversation. You can make the decision to reinvent your business, because you have the foundation of these innovative aspects of what's about to happen with a unique business model, with a unique product being launched. You have the ability to go start telling that conversation as if it was the first time you've ever heard it, and as if it was the first time that the people you're telling it to have ever heard it, because they can take that story and do that same reinventing of themselves. Or if you're new with Forever Green, congratulations, because you find yourself in what I believe probably one of the best timing situations relative to your time in joining Forever Green, because when the biggest successes in our company were created, the biggest ranks, the biggest check stories, and the most success was when we last had an innovative product in an envelope that we could take all over the world. And I believe this product will be even more impactful and do even more, just because of the simple fact that it's a daily consumable product. So here's what I want to talk about. How do you reinvent yourself? It starts with belief. You've got to find a belief in something, right? So you've got to believe in this business model the same way I do. You've got to see the innovation in the product. You've got to see the innovation in this envelope model. And if you don't have it, talk to somebody who's where you want to be in the company. Go talk to Brad Hager. Go talk to Todd and Kathy Humphreys. Go talk to Susan Walsh. Go talk to Kevin O'Connor. Go talk to Eric Munchmeyer. Talk to them about the success they had with this business model of products in an envelope, and glean off of their belief to find your own belief that through this business model, you can have the financial success you're looking for because of this innovative business model. Talk to Dr. Saucedo. Talk to Michelle Lesueur. Get a belief in the product. Get a belief in the comp plan. Listen to the calls that Ron's doing. Get a belief in the company. When you find that belief, when your belief gets big enough, when you've acquired enough belief, you'll start taking action. When you start taking action, you'll see results. When you see results, your belief will go up. You'll take more action. You'll see more results. So how do you go create massive momentum in an existing team or a new team if you're just starting? You go teach other people to do that same thing. Help them understand the story of what's about to happen, this innovative business model, this innovative product launch. Talk to them about the timing of the fact that it's not even launched yet, and for $20 on a pre-order training ticket, they can get a position in the tree. They can pre-order the product that won't even be charged on their credit card yet, and they can go start enrolling massive amounts of people doing the same thing, because you create a belief in the innovation of the business model. You create a belief in the innovative product. You create a belief in the timing. You create a belief in the company that they're going to be partnering with, and the investments that have been made to get to this point, to lay the foundation for this to be able to have incredible momentum. And you go do that over and over again. And you do that same thing for every person that you bring into the company. And the most important thing that you can do is help that person develop those core beliefs in those different aspects. Because when you help them develop that core belief, then they'll go start taking action for themselves. When that belief gets high enough, they'll go start taking action. Then they'll have some results. Then they'll have more belief. Then they'll take some more action. Then they'll have some more results. and their belief will start to spiral out of control. And that wheel that you can see there, those different wheels will start spinning, and all of a sudden when they start spinning for you, and then they start spinning for the few people you've brought in, and then they start spinning for the few people they've brought in, and then they start spinning below them, and then all of a sudden people that you haven't even been able to meet yet, who are a part of your organization, and you're helping change their life, those wheels will start spinning for them, and all of a sudden your business goes into momentum, and the next thing you know, you've changed your lifestyle, and the next thing you know, you're on stage at the next convention being recognized as an all-star because you didn't do anything different. You just did what Brad Hager and Kevin O'Connor did when I joined the company, the same thing they did. You took an innovative business model, an innovative product, you found a belief in those things, a belief in the company, a belief in the comp plan. Because that belief was strong enough, you took some actions, it yielded a result, and it continued to build that momentum. So, guys, I think we find ourselves in an exciting time with an exciting story that we can take all over the world. We've got an innovative product. We've got an innovative business model. We've got an incredible company that has a strong foundation that's been built over a long time. We've got a great comp plan and that you can find that belief in, because all the things are there to build that belief. And if you build that belief strong enough in yourself, and then the most important thing is you learn to help other people acquire that same belief, these wheels will start spinning in your organization, and the next thing you know, you'll have momentum, and you'll have that success you're looking for. So, Rick, that's the message I wanted to share tonight. I appreciate you having me on the call, buddy, and cheers to everyone in FG world.
Travis, thank you. Very, very strong, and really appreciate your participating on the call. Love you too, brother. I want to thank not only Travis, but also Dr. Adam Saucedo again for being on the call. Thank you, Wendy Garzon, who is our North American liaison, who's here doing the parade wave, for hosting the call tonight and taking care of us. And thank Ron for this opportunity. And I really, sometimes you learn that it isn't important to close a call when somebody else has done such a great job. So follow what Travis just told you to do. It's as simple as that. If you have not purchased the $20 pack, do it. It's really as simple as that. That will lead to the purchase of the pre-launch pack. Your credit card won't be charged until the product's ready to ship. Third thing is that you'll be able to lock into this lifetime auto ship price. Join us on the webinars. We have these webinars each week. Next week and the week after, you're going to hear from all of our leaders around the world, or from many of our leaders around the world. What a great opportunity to learn from them. If you didn't learn something from what Travis shared tonight, then check your breath. Maybe you're not breathing, because I did. And if you didn't learn from Dr. Adam, then again, I think every time I hear him, I learn something new. So we appreciate you being on these webinars. This all leads to Paris. Join us in Paris. If you can't be there physically, please be there with us mentally, emotionally. Be with us on the link, on the live feed. There's a lot that's going to be launched there. We've only tapped the surface on these webinars of what you're going to learn in Paris. So stay tuned. Be with us next week on the webinar. Thank you, all of you, for being with us. For those of you who might be new to this call or new to any of our calls or webinars, thank you for being a part of Forever Green. Welcome to Forever Green. Welcome home. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.